7th grade, Chapter 3, Lesson 1, Percent of a number. With percent of a number, you're multiplying percent of or times a number. Percent of a number is your percent times the number. To do this, you can either express your percent as that is correct, as a decimal, or you can change it to a fraction. Example 1, 25% of 300. Multiplying as a decimal. At the beginning of the year, we learned our fraction, decimal, percent equivalents, and we learned that 25% is 25 hundredths. Then you multiply that by 300. The answer is 7,500 with 2 decimal places, 1, 2, which gives us the answer 75. Multiplying as a fraction. We know that 25% represents 25 out of 100. That's 25 over 100 times 300, which we can make into a fraction by putting it over 1. Without having to do a lot of long multiplication like we did with the decimal, we can cross-cancel here. We know that there are 3 hundredths in 300, and 100 divided by itself is 1. So we've just made that 100 into a 1 and that 300 into a 3, which leaves us with 25 times 3 over 1. As with money, 25 cents, 3/4, that's right, is 75 over 1, which is equal to 75. You get the same answer that you got when you used a decimal. We are going to show the second example with multiplying by a decimal and by a fraction. Now, if you'll notice, the 4/5 is with percent. 4/5 is 8 tenths. 8 tenths, but that's with the percent sign on it. So you have to move the decimal 2 places to the left to make it into a decimal without the percent. That is 8 thousandths. Then you multiply that by 500. That's pretty simple. 5 times 8 is 40. So 500 times 8 is, that is correct, 4,000. 4,000 But then you have to put the decimal back in the answer. 1, 2, 3. So the final answer is 4. When we do that with a fraction, we do it like we did complex fractions back in Chapter 2. We take the 4/5 percent and put 4/5 over 100. And then we have to multiply that by 500. First, we will do 4/5 divided by 100, which is a KCF problem. 4/5 times, that is correct, 1 over 100. You can cross cancel here. 4 does go into 100 evenly 25 times. 4 divided by 4 and 100 divided by 4. That's 1 and 25. Then you have 1 times 1, which is 1, and 5 times 25, which is 125. And that is what you're going to multiply by the 500 over 1. 25 can divide evenly into 125 and into 500. There are 5 quarters in $1.25, so there's 5 25s in 125. If there are 4 quarters in $1, let's think about this. 4 quarters in $1, $5 would be 20. That's right, there are 20 25s in 500. Mark that out and put 20. Mark that out and put 5. Now you should be able to see that 5 can also go into 20. 5 goes into itself and into 20. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 20 divided by 5 is 4. And as you can see, even my dog agrees. The answer is 4. So you can use a decimal if you know your fraction decimals, your decimal equivalents to your percents. That would be excellent. Or you could change it to a fraction. Some people love to work with fractions and do all the cross-canceling. That's my favorite.